With his choice made, Xu Jingming explains he chose Modu Superpower University not just for their great offer, but because its combat training is the best in the University Alliance, with many founders coming from Modu. He then bows to Su Yun and Wu Yuan, thanking them for their offer. They both look disappointed. Pleased with his decision, director Zhang Zhaoyue creates a glowing admission letter and gives it to Xu Jingming, welcoming him. She tells him that while new students enroll on September 1st as a special recruit, he can register early and will be given a place to stay. Eager to start, Xu Jingming asks if he can access the library's superpower training methods and combat techniques ahead of time. Zhang Zhaoyu agrees without hesitation, adding that the school can provide him with a private study room. She hands him her contact card, telling him to get in touch when he arrives in Magic City. Holding his admission letter, Xu Jingming looks at the smiling director and says he can't wait to go and register. Sometime later, Xu Jingming stands at a train station with his luggage, looking excited as an announcement calls for passengers of the G91 train to Magic City to begin boarding. At the station, his aunt Xu Qingwan is emotional, wiping away tears as her husband Tang Daolin comforts her. He proudly says that their child has grown up and that when Xiaoming leaves, he is going to soar. As Tang Xi looks on, her father reminds her it is time to start filling out her university choices. He suggests that since her cousin is going to Magic City Superpower University, she should also try to choose a university there. Xu Qingwan agrees, adding it would be good for them to look out for each other. A flustered Tang Qi quietly agrees. On the train, with 6 hours left, Xu Jingming is already studying. He thinks to himself that the most important reward from the exam is the Universal C training method. Like superpowers, training methods also have different ratings: beginner, intermediate, advanced, and top tier. A graph shows that the higher the level of the method, the faster the training speed and the greater the power gained. While on the train, Xu Jingming focuses on studying the Universal C training method. He identifies it as an intermediate level technique and notes that with his spiritual power of 180, it took him half a day to memorize it. He recalls that by following the method, he was able to sense the special energy in the world on his first day of practice. This unlocked a new option on his system panel, showing a plus sign next to his level, meaning he could now advance from an awakened to a superpower user. However, he decides not to level up yet. He remembers the training manual said the higher the level of the training method used for the breakthrough, the greater the benefits. Knowing he will soon have access to top-tier methods at the university, he resolves not to waste this chance by using an intermediate one. Upon arriving in Magic City, Xu Jingming is in awe of the university campus. From the car, he sees the school grounds are several hundred meters wide. He is greeted by director Zhang Zhaoyue, who pulls up in a red sports car and welcomes him, telling him to get in so she can take him to handle admission procedures. As they drive through the stunning campus, lined with cherry blossom trees, director Zhang Zhaoyue boasts about its size, explaining it covers 40,000 mu. She adds that even visiting students can't tour the entire campus in one day. Xu Jingming is impressed, remarking that seeing it is better than hearing about it. After a quick registration, director Zhang Zhaoyue hands him his new student ID, an all-in-one card he can use to access the dorms. As they approach his new accommodation, Xu Jingming thinks about his past life, where he saw dorms from 4-person rooms to 3-bedroom apartments. However, nothing prepared him for what he sees next. He stares in shock at his new dormitory, a magnificent, luxurious villa. Director Zhang Zhaoyue explains that every student at Modu lives in a villa, with the luxury determined by their scores. As the provincial top scorer, Xu Jingming gets the most luxurious model, with an area of over 800 square meters. She informs him the villa is for 2 people, with an upper and lower floor, so he and his future roommate will each have an entire floor. Xu Jingming thinks that having a roommate isn't bad and is better than being alone. He reflects on his life as an orphan and admits he still prefers the warm feeling of a communal 4-person dorm as he follows the director up the steps. Inside the villa, director Zhang Zhaoyue sits down with Xu Jingming and informs him that she will now explain a few important things about the university. She highlights 2 main points: the credit system and the mentor system. She begins by explaining that at Modu, credits are everything. They are used for all transactions, from buying meals to powerful equipment. She clarifies that 1 credit is roughly equivalent to 10,000 Daxia currency. Director Zhang Zhaoyue explains there are many ways to get credits, one of which is a fixed amount given each year based on a student's rating. As an S-class student, Xu Jingming gets 100 credits for the year. To show him, she summons a small, spherical robot, calling out, "Eva." The device floats and projects a message, confirming Xu Jingming's credit balance is 100. The director introduces the robot as Eva, the AI equipped in every dorm. She explains Eva's main body is the school's central AI, and the dorm units are subunits. However, she notes that even a subunit is a level 4 AI, capable of assisting with daily life. Xu Jingming is stunned, realizing the AI technology on Blue Star is far more advanced than in his previous life. With the first point covered, director Zhang Zhaoyue moves on to the mentor system. She explains every student can choose a mentor they admire and ask for guidance, though the mentor must agree. Xu Jingming is intrigued, questioning if he can get one-on-one guidance as a freshman. She confirms this, adding that all mentors at the university are high-level superpowered individuals. Most have their own original combat techniques and training methods, which they do not pass on to outsiders. These secret techniques can only be learned after becoming their official disciple. Given Xu Jingming's abilities, she informs him the university has 4 mentors who specialize in the lightning element. Her top recommendation is Yang Zhentian, the dean of the Weaponry Academy. At her command, Eva projects a profile of the dean. It reveals Yang Zhentian is a 52-year-old, Tier 7 high-rank superpowered individual with an A-rank lightning superpower. He is a master of various weapons, especially the spear, earning him the title Thunder Spear. The profile also notes he once fought an 8th-tier demonic whale for 3 days and nights before killing it alone. The director also provides information on the other 3 potential mentors, but tells Xu Jingming the final choice is his. After reviewing the options, a confident smile spreads across Xu Jingming's face. He notes Dean Yang Zhentian is not only a lightning user, but also a spear specialist, concluding he is the best choice for his mentor. Having made his choice, Xu Jingming heads to the mentor's residential area, a serene compound of traditional buildings in a lush forest. As he arrives at the grand gate of Dean Yang Zhentian's residence, he thinks that a mentor's home is far more high class than the student villas. Before he can proceed, a young man with brown hair, leaning against a stone lion, asks if Xu Jingming is also there to seek mentorship. The young man looks surprised when he realizes Xu Jingming is still an Awakened, guessing he must be a specially recruited student. After Xu Jingming confirms this, the other student remarks that in previous years, special recruits were typically mid to high-rank Tier 1 individuals. The student introduces himself as Tan Mingyang, a junior from the Weaponry Academy. Xu Jingming introduces himself as a freshman who just registered. Tan seems impressed, commenting that Xu Jingming is quick to seek mentorship. He explains that most freshmen only learn about this after the freshman competition, which interests Xu Jingming. Tan explains that the freshman competition is a university tradition held a few days after registration. All teachers watch, and students who perform well are sought after by academies, with some even being chosen directly by mentors. He clarifies that while it's not impossible for a special recruit like Xu Jingming to seek mentorship early, trying to become the dean's disciple right after enrolling is as difficult as winning the lottery. Xu Jingming politely thanks him for the explanation and asks if Tan is also there to seek mentorship from Teacher Yang. With a sigh, Tan confirms this, revealing he has made several trips over the past 6 months but has always been turned away. He was about to give up, but decided to try one last time. Just as he finishes speaking, the large doors open, and a middle-aged man, likely a butler, appears, startling Tan. The butler's expression softens as he greets them and informs them that Teacher Yang is waiting inside, inviting them to follow him. Tan is taken aback by the warm reception, wondering if the fact that the dean is waiting inside means he might finally have a chance. The butler leads them into a room where they are brought before 2 men. Xu Jingming immediately feels an incredibly powerful presence from the older man, who has a commanding posture, a full gray beard, and sharp eyes. He recognizes him as the dean of the Weaponry Academy, Yang Zhentian. A younger man with long hair stands beside him. Dean Yang Zhentian addresses Xu Jingming directly, stating that he must be the one director Zhang Zhaoyu told him about. Ignoring Tan completely, he tells Xu Jingming to follow him to the training room. In a traditional training room filled with weapons, Dean Yang Zhentian tells Xu Jingming that he has seen his martial arts exam video. He praises his combat skills and marksmanship. However, before deciding, the dean insists on seeing his S-rank ability, the Purple Heaven Divine Thunder, with his own eyes. Xu Jingming calmly agrees. As the dean observes, Xu Jingming channels his power, and arcs of purple lightning crackle around his arms. He then unleashes a massive, violent burst of purple and white energy that fills the room, the raw power crackling with immense force. Dean Yang Gentian is visibly impressed, a grin on his face as he recognizes the S-rank ability. He mentally compares it to his own A-rank ability, acknowledging that the gap between A-rank and S-rank power is impossible to bridge. He sees immense potential in the student, thinking that if Xu Jingming hones his skills, his future could rival his own. With the demonstration done, the dean states that with Xu Jingming's potential, becoming his disciple is not an issue. However, he offers a serious warning. He explains that he has made many friends and enemies. He cannot guarantee his enemies won't target his disciples, and asks if Xu Jingming is still willing to accept him as a master, knowing the risks. Without hesitation, Xu Jingming drops to his knees in a formal sign of respect. With a wide, determined grin, he declares that he is willing. He passionately explains that he admires high-level ability users who have grown strong through bloody struggles. He believes the number of enemies his teacher has defeated is proof of his immense combat ability. Pleased with this answer, Dean Yang Zhentian laughs heartily and formally accepts him. He declares that from this day forward, Xu Jingming is his 32nd disciple and his very first S-rank disciple. Telling him to rise, the dean presents Xu Jingming with his first gifts, a top-tier ability training method called Extreme Ability Training Method, and a body-tempering combat technique called Thunder Indestructible Body, both of which he created. Xu Jingming is stunned by the value of the gifts, realizing a body-tempering combat technique that can strengthen his body is far more precious than an ordinary one. The dean explains that while the ability training method is one of only 3 top-tier methods in the school, the real highlight is the Thunder Indestructible Body technique, the culmination of his life's work. He adds that the technique has been certified by 2 major martial arts halls and has been officially rated as S rank. The revelation leaves Xu Jingming utterly speechless, shocked to learn of an S rank combat technique. Combat techniques, like abilities, have their own ratings, from F to SSS. The higher the rank, the more difficult it is to master, but the more powerful it will be. Xu Jingming reflects on this, realizing the terrifying extent of his new master's talent. He knows that most 7th-level masters are exceptional if they can create an A-rank combat technique. For his master to have created an S-rank technique, his martial arts talent is terrifyingly high. Dean Yang Gentian provides more details about his S-rank technique. He explains that the Thunder Indestructible Body is only for lightning element users and has 13 levels. With each level, the user's body undergoes a transformation. However, he clarifies a crucial requirement. To begin cultivating it, one must first advance from an awakened to a true ability user. He then gives Xu Jingming his first task. He instructs him to use the Extreme Ability Training Method to achieve his breakthrough. Once Xu Jingming has advanced, he is to return, and the dean will personally help him build the foundation for the Thunder Indestructible Body. Overwhelmed with gratitude, Xu Jingming bows deeply, thinking how much better it is to have a mentor's guidance. The dean then shares a personal motivation, revealing he has only cultivated the technique to the 10th level. He looks at Xu Jingming with hope, stating that if he is unable to reach the peak of a martial saint, then Xu Jingming will be the greatest hope to prove the technique's potential. His eyes gleam as he reveals his ultimate guess. If one can cultivate the technique to its final level, their body can achieve a state of being eternal and indestructible. As Xu Jingming leaves his master's residence, waving goodbye to the butler, he finds Tan Mingyang sitting dejectedly on the steps outside, holding his head in despair. Xu Jingming approaches him and asks what is wrong. It is revealed that Tan Mingyang's attempt to become a disciple failed. He had to face a test against one of the dean's senior disciples. The condition was to defeat the senior, while the latter used only 1/10 of his combat power, a task Tan found hopeless, leaving him beaten. Now sitting on the steps, Tan looks up at Xu Jingming, assuming he also failed. He remarks that getting into Dean Yang's tutelage isn't easy and asks if Xu Jingming needs him to pass on some experience from his failures. Unfazed, Xu Jingming calmly declines, simply stating that he has already passed. The words hit Tan Mingyang like a physical blow. His bruised face contorts in utter disbelief. He exclaims that he has never heard of a dean-level mentor accepting a disciple before the annual freshman competition. As Xu Jingming calmly walks away, a bewildered Tan Mingyang stares after him, trying to understand what just happened. With a new objective, Xu Jingming returns to his dormitory's training room. Sitting cross-legged, he begins to cultivate using the Extreme Ability Training Method from his new master. As he meditates, he is amazed by the effectiveness of the top-tier technique, noting the amount of energy he can sense is far greater than with the intermediate-level method. A confident smirk appears on his face. Knowing he has already mastered the principles, he decides there is no need to practice it step by step. Instead, he will use his cheat system to advance directly. He accesses his system panel and commands it to use his ability points to increase his level. The effect is immediate and intense. A surge of energy courses through him, causing him to grunt in pain. He clutches his clothes as raw energy surges through his veins. The power erupts from his body in a massive blast of light and force that shakes the room. A moment later, the energy subsides. Breathing heavily, Xu Jingming pushes himself up, thinking he has successfully broken through. A notification confirms his new status as a first-tier, lower-rank ability user. He examines his hand, where stable, powerful blue lightning now crackles with ease. As he tests his control, a much larger and more potent torrent of lightning flows from his hand, a clear sign of his increased power. Clenching his fist, he marvels at the result. He can feel the power in his body has increased by at least 4 or 5 times. He confidently thinks that if he were to face the second-tier bloodthirsty tyrant bear again, his thunder ability alone would be enough to defeat it. He pulls up his system panel to check his new stats and understands why all ability users want higher-level cultivation methods. He calculates that if he had used the intermediate method, his vitality and spirit would have only increased by 30 or 40 points. But now, using the top-tier method, they have increased by almost 100 points in one go. The gap in results is undeniable. He notes the advancement only cost him 300 ability points, and he decides to save the rest. He knows that learning a powerful combat technique like the Thunder Indestructible Body is even more important. As an S-rank technique, he expects the consumption of ability points to master it will be incredibly high. With his breakthrough complete, Xu Jingming is ready for the next stage. A new thought enters his mind. Since he's at the university, perhaps it's time to visit the school's library. The next day, Xu Jingming returns to his master's residence. Dean Yang Gentian is utterly astonished to see him, questioning how he could have advanced so quickly. The dean paces, remarking that in his 20 years of teaching, he has seen countless geniuses, but even the best took a significant amount of time to transform into an ability user. He notes it has been less than 24 hours since Xu Jingming received the manual. With a bashful smile, Xu Jingming admits that perhaps the only thing he can be proud of is his advancement speed. He adds that when he tried to begin cultivating the Thunder Indestructible Body, he found even the introductory part to be a challenge. The dean listens and explains the process. Forging the foundation involves using the blood of a lightning element beast as a guide, combined with one's own lightning, to temper the muscles and bones. He emphasizes a critical point. The final strength of the technique is related to the grade of the beast's blood used. Now that Xu Jingming has advanced, the dean declares he will help him forge the foundation that very day. He reveals that high-level lightning beasts are rare, and his original plan was to use the blood of a 7th-tier storm giant bear. However, after learning Xu Jingming was entitled to one S-rank resource every year, he made a special request. He decided to combine the resources and pleaded with the university's principal to grant Xu Jingming an even more precious SS-rank resource. With that, he presents Xu Jingming with a small vial containing a glowing red liquid, the essence blood of a ferocious 8th-tier beast, the Thunder Tyrannosaurus. Xu Jingming is deeply moved that his new teacher and the principal would go to such lengths for him. He accepts the vial and vows to repay this kindness many times over. Pleased, the dean says they should begin immediately. They move to a training room where a shirtless Xu Jingming kneels. The dean uncorks the vial and pours the potent, glowing red blood onto Xu Jingming's head and back. Xu Jingming grits his teeth, groaning as the substance makes contact. The dean warns him to bear with it, explaining the blood is highly toxic to low-level users, and the intense pain is expected. Next, the dean prepares to use his own power to help. He tells Xu Jingming he will now use his A-rank Windfire True Thunder to forge the foundation, adding that the amount Xu Jingming can absorb is up to him. The dean unleashes his power, a torrent of violent, red lightning, and directs it into Xu Jingming's body. The energy surges through him, causing glowing red patterns to spread across his back and chest. The process is excruciating, and Xu Jingming throws his head back, letting out a raw scream of agony as his body is forcibly tempered by the immense power. 5 days into the tempering process, the senior disciple, Liu, is having tea with the dean's butler, Uncle Fu. Liu remarks on how resilient the new junior is to have lasted for 5 days. He reflects with some jealousy that he only lasted 2 days during his own tempering, which used weaker 7th-tier beast blood. He admits Xu Jingming's performance deserves the 8th-tier dragon-type beast's essence blood. Liu adds that with an S-rank lightning ability, he is looking forward to seeing the result of his new junior's thunder indestructible body. Suddenly, a loud crash from the training room startles them. Liu rushes upstairs, wondering if his junior's foundation forging is complete. He cautiously peeks through the door and is met with a terrifying sight. Xu Jingming stands shirtless and splattered with blood, his eyes glowing red. A chaotic aura of dark energy and blue lightning surrounds him, and he appears to have lost control, looking more like a beast than a human. Liu is frozen in fear, sensing a threatening aura from Xu Jingming like that of a top-tier ferocious beast, which makes him shudder. Lost in this primal state, Xu Jingming sees Liu in the doorway and lunges forward to attack. However, before he can strike, the commanding voice of Dean Yang Gentian roars, shouting for Jingming to wake up. The Dean's shout breaks through the bloodlust, and Xu Jingming halts his attack just inches from his senior. Covered in sweat, a dazed Xu Jingming asks his teacher what happened and why he felt an overwhelming urge to destroy things. The Dean explains that the essence blood of the Thunder Tyrannosaurus likely influenced his mind. He points out that the beast is famous for its ferocity, and because Xu Jingming's absorption rate and compatibility were so high, he experienced this dangerous side effect. The Dean reassures him, telling him not to worry. As long as he avoids intense emotional changes, he will be fine, and the side effects will gradually disappear as his strength increases. A wave of relief washes over Xu Jingming. He looks down at his hands, expressing his fear of being controlled by his emotions. With the crisis averted, Dean Yang Gentian's tone changes to delight. He tells a confused Xu Jingming to cheer up, announcing the forging was a perfect success with an incredible 98% absorption rate. He proudly explains that among the disciples who have cultivated the Thunder Indestructible Body, the highest rate ever recorded was only 92%. With this, Xu Jingming has broken a long-standing record. His senior disciple, Liu, approaches with a congratulatory smile. He tells his new junior that with the foundation successfully forged, his future in martial arts is now smooth sailing. The dean formally introduces him as senior disciple Liu Ming, an ability user at the peak of the 3rd tier, and tells Xu Jingming to ask Liu for help with any future cultivation questions. Xu Jingming greets his senior, who promptly pulls out his phone. Liu explains that since he didn't prepare a gift, he will transfer some credits instead. Xu Jingming is shocked when a notification on his phone says he received 200 credits, exclaiming that it's too much. He quickly calculates the gift is worth 2 million Great Sha coins. The dean dismisses his concern, stating that 200 credits is not a large sum for Liu, and that it is a senior's duty to care for his juniors. He adds that when Xu Jingming has his own juniors, he will also need to prepare gifts, a lesson Xu Jingming humbly accepts. With the training complete, the dean tells Xu Jingming that after 5 days without food or water, he should go back and rest. He gives him his next instructions: come back the following morning to learn fist and spear techniques with Senior Liu. Xu Jingming gratefully thanks his teacher and leaves. Back at his luxurious villa, Xu Jingming finds a young man with spiky white hair and red eyes on the couch, focused on a video game. The young man turns, realizing he's not alone, and greets Xu Jingming, guessing he must be his new roommate. He introduces himself as Liu Wentao. When Xu Jingming introduces himself, Liu Wentao's eyes widen. He excitedly points and exclaims that he is the top scorer from Jiangnan province. When Xu Jingming asks how he knew, Liu Wentao proudly declares his nickname is Mr. Know-It-All, as he knows about most freshmen. He admits he didn't specifically look up Xu Jingming, but the stir he caused was so big he couldn't help but hear about him. He marvels that the legendary Dark Horse top scorer is his new roommate. Putting a friendly arm around his shoulder, he starts bombarding our boy with questions, asking if he is really from Zhangcheng, if he was truly just an Awakened during the exam, and commenting that his ability does not look like it's only E rank. Despite the endless questions, Xu Jingming finds he likes the friendly chatterbox. He reflects that he has always hated loneliness. Flashbacks reveal his past, growing up in an orphanage without a sense of belonging. School was better, as he had friends. His happiest memories are from his college days, joking around and playing games with roommates. He recalls getting his master's and PhD, never imagining that after drinking too much at his graduation, he would wake up in a different world. He thinks about how he didn't expect to still be an orphan after transmigrating, but with a roommate like Liu Wentao, he feels he won't be lonely. Meanwhile, Liu Wentao proudly boasts that he is a top student from Sichuan province with an A-rank ability and is currently a first-tier middle-rank ability user. He declares his ambition to major in college tactics and command a military region to slaughter all the ferocious beasts on Blue Star. Changing the subject, Xu Jingming mentions he is heading to the martial arts hall. Intrigued, Liu Wentao decides to join him, admitting he hasn't visited the university's hall yet. They arrive at the impressive Thunder Martial Arts Hall, Magical University branch. Inside, they see a lively and chaotic scene, with students training and showing off their powers. The AI, Eva, appears and explains they are in the public training room, which can hold 300 people. The hall is constructed with C-rank alloy mixed with memory metal, making it durable enough to withstand damage. Eva also points out private training rooms, but Xu Jingming decides the public area is fine. Liu Wentao gets caught up in the competitive atmosphere, shouting with excitement and pointing out an A-rank enhanced werewolf user. Xu Jingming dryly comments that his roommate isn't being quiet himself. Xu Jingming then asks Eva about the large numbered pillars in the center of the room. Eva explains they are punch power challenge boards. There are 5 leaderboards, one for each of the 5 tiers of ability users. She informs them that if they get into the top 3,000 on their boards, they will receive a 50 credit reward. Liu Wentao eagerly accepts the challenge, thinking it sounds easy. Eva clarifies there are just over 4,000 students in the university. Eager for the reward, Liu Wentao decides to try. Eva instructs him to swipe his student ID to start, adding the crucial rule that abilities and combat techniques are forbidden. Liu Wentao eagerly steps up to the pillar and swipes his student ID. The AI, Eva, announces his attempt. His activation draws the attention of older students, who mockingly note he is only a first-tier, middle-rank freshman. Feeling the pressure, a determined Liu Wentao resolves not to lose face. With a loud cry, he unleashes a powerful punch, striking the pillar with impressive force. The result flashes on the screen, a punch power of 476 kilograms. Pleased, Liu Wentao thinks he didn't embarrass himself, and getting into the top 3,000 should be no problem. His pride is short-lived, as Eva delivers a devastating update. His rank is beyond 100,000. Liu Wentao is left in shock, screaming in disbelief and questioning how this is possible with only about 4,000 students at the university. Eva coldly clarifies the leaderboard tallies the scores of all students since the university's founding 100 years ago. The humiliating realization dawns on Liu Wentao. The crowd was waiting to see him make a fool of himself. The older students erupt in laughter, with one remarking how hilarious it is. As his roommate wallows in embarrassment, Xu Jingming offers some consolation, reminding him that as a spiritual element user, physical punch power isn't his strength. A grateful Liu Wentao encourages Xu Jingming to try, certain he will be stronger. Xu Jingming agrees, admitting he wanted to test his strength anyway. He swipes his ID and Eva announces his challenge. The crowd's attention shifts to him, but they are even more dismissive, noting he seems weaker, at a first-tier, lower rank. They doubt his punch power will even reach 400 kilograms. However, one onlooker finds the name Xu Jingming strangely familiar. Meanwhile, Xu Jingming is confident. He reflects on his recent progress, advancing to a first-tier ability user and tempering his body for 5 days and nights to forge his new technique's foundation. A quick check of his system panel confirms his new stats, including an enhanced physique and the Thunder Indestructible Body First skill. He clenches his fist, eager to see what level his punch power has reached. With a surge of power, he throws a punch, and the impact creates a powerful shockwave that ripples through the air. The powerful shockwave from Xu Jingming's punch ripples through the air, stunning the crowd in the martial arts hall. A digital screen shows the incredible result, a fist power of 4,589 kilograms. This score not only puts him first on the leaderboard, but also shatters the long-standing record for first-tier ability users. The older students who had been mocking him are left in disbelief. One exclaims the record has been broken, while another questions how a lower-rank first-tier user could have such immense power. A third student grimly points out that a punch with that force could turn him into meat paste, finding it impossible to believe this is a freshman. 2 female students in the crowd are equally astonished. One comments that the top 1,000 on the leaderboard are figures who lead the era, wondering how exceptional the new #1 must be. Her friend adds the record had stood for over 10 years and feels she must record the historic moment. His roommate, Liu Wentao, is ecstatic, grabbing Xu Jingming and declaring he is truly his brother and will follow him from now on. A smiling Xu Jingming modestly tells him not to exaggerate. Looking at his fist, Xu Jingming inwardly reflects, pleased with the outcome. He concludes the Thunder Tyrannosaurus's essence blood is highly compatible with him, and the improvement in his strength was immediate. The AI, Eva, floats nearby and formally congratulates Xu Jingming for breaking the record, announcing a 400 credit reward has been issued to his account. A curious Xu Jingming asks if he can earn more credits by breaking the record again. Eva clarifies the reward is only for the first time, but he can challenge the other level pillars for new rewards. Xu Jingming looks up at the other 4 pillars for 2nd to 5th tier users and decides he will break those records later. Meanwhile, his roommate has become a hype man as a group of impressed female students gather around Liu Wentao, who points out his amazing roommate. The girls quickly swarm a bewildered Xu Jingming, with some offering to teach him how to use equipment and others trying to recruit him for their club. Overwhelmed, Xu Jingming is pulled away by Liu Wentao, who suggests they escape to a private training room. Elsewhere, at his master's residence, Dean Yang Gentian is enjoying tea. His senior disciple, Liu Ming, shows him his phone, reporting that his junior brother Xu is a hot topic on the campus forums. Dean Yang Gentian marvels at our boy's exaggerated physical strength, questioning why he ran off to break records instead of resting. Liu Ming then reflects on his own past. He recalls when he was a high-rank first-tier user and had just mastered the first layer of the Thunder Indestructible body. His fist power was only a little over 3,500 kilograms. He concludes with awe that his new junior brother is much more than just a little stronger than he was. In a luxurious apartment, a young man with dark hair and a brown jacket stares at his phone. Suddenly, he erupts in rage, slamming his hand on the marble countertop. The glass beside him shatters as his hand is covered in orange flames and blue lightning. He fumes, cursing that Xu Jingming has also come to Magic Capital. Clenching his fiery fist, his face contorts with anger. He thinks about how Xu Jingming's success made him miss his chance to be the top scorer of Jiangnan province, turning him into a laughingstock in his home city. He fiercely vows that this time, he will take back all the honor he believes is his. Meanwhile, back in his university's training room, Xu Jingming sits calmly, holding a small knife. He reflects on the effects of his new Thunder Indestructible body technique, marveling that even after 5 grueling days of tempering without food or rest, he is still full of energy. To test his new durability, he lightly drags the sharp blade across his hand. The knife makes a metallic sound but fails to break the skin, leaving only a faint white mark. He is impressed, realizing his body's defense is now like E-grade alloy, making him invulnerable to ordinary blades. He concludes it is truly a worthy S-grade body refinement technique. Just then, his roommate Liu Wentao bursts in, calling his name excitedly. He informs Xu Jingming that the news of him breaking the record has caused an explosion on the campus forum. He adds that countless students are posting replies, saying they want to challenge him. Far from being annoyed, a competitive smirk plays on Xu Jingming's lips. He remarks to himself that the martial spirit at Magic University is indeed quite strong. Seeing the challenges, a protective Liu Wentao holds up his phone and angrily offers to help his roommate by crushing the self-overestimating guys online. Xu Jingming calmly pushes his roommate's arm down, telling him to forget it and not waste his time. He explains he has more important things to do, as he is heading to the Battle Technique Library, and tells Liu Wentao to head back to the dorm. Xu Jingming arrives at the massive and modern Battle Technique Library. As he approaches the entrance, he holds his hand out to a scanner, and a complex, glowing orange security circle appears, confirming the building's advanced protection. He is amazed by the security, recalling a rumor the library is personally guarded by the university's vice principal, a legendary 9th-tier superpower user. He realizes that with such a powerful figure watching over it, even the strongest martial saints couldn't steal the treasures inside. After swiping his student ID card, he passes through the gate, and the security circle scans him one last time before letting him in. Inside the grand hall, he is greeted by a trio of female librarians. The one in the center warmly welcomes him by name, addressing him as S-grade student Xu Jingming and asking how they can help. Surprised they know him, Xu Jingming asks how they knew his name. The librarian politely explains that students with S-grade authority, like him, are special and have access to all battle techniques. Their system automatically notified them when he scanned his ID. The librarian's thoughts reveal her true motivation. She understands that S-grade authority means his future is destined to be at least that of a Grandmaster-level user. She makes a mental note to befriend him. Xu Jingming tells the librarian he is interested in lightning element superpower battle techniques and asks which floor he should go to. The librarian informs him that techniques of B grade and below are on the second and third floors, but the more precious ones are in a special reading room on the fourth floor. She adds that he can get in by swiping his card. She then personally leads him to the fourth floor, into an elegant private reading room. Inside, a small floating AI device hovers over a table. The AI explains that once he selects techniques online, the original secret manuals will be delivered to him. She kindly warns him to be careful when handling them. Left alone, Xu Jingming commands the AI to display all lightning element battle techniques of B grade and above. In response, the AI projects dozens of blue holographic screens that fill the room, each showing a different technique. As he looks through the selection, two techniques catch his eye. The first is an SSS grade technique called 10,000 Prisons Heavenly Thunder Guidance, which creates a massive thunderstorm domain. However, it is restricted to users who are at least 5th tier. The second is an SS grade technique named Wrath of the Thunder God, which summons powerful thunder. This one is also restricted, requiring a user to be at least 4th tier. Xu Jingming is in awe of the quality of the techniques, seeing SS grade and even SSS grade options. He marvels at how rich the university's collection of secret manuals is and wonders if he can view them for free. His excitement fades as he realizes the cultivation of these powerful techniques has strict requirements. With his current status, he can only learn A-grade battle techniques for now. He sees countless A-grade options, noting that choosing would be incredibly difficult without his teacher's guidance. Fortunately, he came prepared. He pulls out a recommendation list from his master, Dean Yang Zhentian, which saves him time. Using the list, he interacts with the holographic displays, pointing out his desired techniques. He makes his final decision, choosing 4 specific A-grade techniques. The first is Thunder Spear, an offensive technique. The second is Chain Thunder Gun, a sustained attack. The third is Thunder Flash, a movement technique. The final one is Thunder Prison, a control technique. He mentally categorizes his new skills. Thunder Spear for ranged strikes. Chain Thunder Gun for sustained attacks, Thunder Flash for movement, and Thunder Prison for crowd control. He confidently believes that with these 4 battle techniques and his S-rank Thunder Indestructible body, his combat style will have hardly any flaws. The AI, Eva, analyzes his selection, informing him the average time to learn each A-grade technique to an elementary level is 6 months. It recommends mixing in lower-level techniques for a more balanced approach. However, Xu Jingming confidently dismisses the advice. A short while later, the librarian returns, presenting him with the 4 physical manuals for his chosen techniques. As he reaches for them, Xu Jingming marvels at how luxurious they are. He reflects on their market value, knowing even C-grade secret manuals cost millions, making these 4 priceless A-grade originals an incredible treasure. As he opens the first manual, a golden light shines from its pages. He is struck by the profound artistic conception and powerful aura, realizing it is an experience a copy could never reproduce. He settles down and begins to study the manuals intently. As hours go by, his focus turns to frustration. Sweat beads on his forehead as he clutches his head, struggling to comprehend the complex content. Despite the difficulty, he perseveres, turning page after page. After a long study period, he leans back, having finished all 4 manuals. He then calls out to his system, Deep Blue, and commands it to add points. The system responds instantly. 4 notifications appear, confirming 200 superpower points have been consumed for each technique, and all 4 have been successfully learned to the elementary level. He then pulls up his system panel to view his updated status. His new skills, Thunder Spear, Thunder Flash, A-grade Chain Thunder Gun, and Thunder Prison, are all listed at the elementary level. His body refinement technique, Thunder Indestructible Body, remains at the first layer, and his available superpower points have decreased to 1434. Standing up, Xu Jingming clenches his fist, a faint aura of power around him. Having acquired so many powerful battle techniques, he looks upward with a confident and predatory expression, wondering which lucky person will be the first to taste the power of his new arsenal. In their luxurious villa at night, Liu Wentao sits on the couch and tells Xu Jingming about a notification from Eva. The freshman assembly is the next day at Training Ground 1. He also mentions a new group chat for the freshmen and suggests Xu Jingming should join. Xu Jingming calmly agrees. Liu Wentao then asks what level of combat techniques Xu Jingming chose at the library. Xu Jingming casually replies that he picked up 4 A-rank combat techniques. This answer shocks Liu Wentao. He exclaims that learning 4 A-rank techniques would normally take a student until their sophomore or junior year. He concludes that his roommate doesn't take the usual route. Liu Wentao's curiosity grows. He realizes that to browse A-rank techniques, Xu Jingming must have A-rank permission. Xu Jingming corrects him, stating his permission level is S-rank. The revelation stuns Liu Wentao, who jumps to his feet. He shouts in disbelief, questioning why the school would have a permission level higher than A-rank. A sudden realization dawns on him, and he stammers that the online rumors about Xu Jingming being E-rank must be false, asking in shock if it means Xu Jingming has an S-rank superpower. Xu Jingming simply smiles, teasingly remarking that the know-it-all has just learned something new. The confirmation leaves Liu Wentao in awe. He exclaims that he had guessed Xu Jingming's rating was high, but he never expected it to be S-rank, especially since other provincial top scorers are only A-rank. A wide, happy grin spreads across his face. He gives a thumbs up, thinking it was the right decision to become a fan now, solidifying his status as an old fan. Later, Xu Jingming is in the second-floor training room. He holds a practice spear but finds it too light. He thinks that now that he has the combat techniques he needs, he also needs the right equipment. He reflects that his original F-rank obsidian spear is back home and would no longer be suitable for his current strength. He decides to get new gear. He asks the AI, Eva, to open the school mall and search for spear-type weapons. Eva complies, and holographic displays appear, showing spears from F-rank to D-rank. Xu Jingming notes he can customize the length and weight. He understands higher-ranked equipment is heavier and more expensive. He chooses an E-rank 210-kilogram spear, along with an E-rank combat suit and boots. He confirms the purchase. A notification shows the total cost is 237 credits, leaving him with 382.6. The purchase is confirmed for delivery the next day. He thinks with a bit of dismay how quickly his credits disappeared, shrinking by nearly half. With his new gear on the way, he grips the practice spear with a determined look. He knows he'll have to rely on this temporary weapon. With a confident smirk, he declares that tonight it will help him practice his 4 new A-rank combat techniques. The next day, the freshmen of Modu Superpower University gather for their assembly. As Xu Jingming arrives, he immediately draws the attention of the other students. Murmurs spread as they recognize him as the one who broke the school's punch power record. They also identify him as the Jiangnan province top scorer, marveling at his strength and handsome appearance. Before he can find a seat, he is confronted by a tall, imposing young man named Lei Zhou, who aggressively points and loudly issues a challenge. Onlookers immediately recognize him as the second-place scorer from Jiangnan province, who scored over 9,300. They gossip about his privileged background, noting both of his parents are powerful Tier 4 superpowered beings. They sympathetically remark that it's a shame no one remembers second place, making his unwillingness to accept his loss understandable. Despite the public challenge, Xu Jingming is unfazed. He calmly declines, stating he is not interested, a response that shocks his roommate Liu Wentao. Lei Zhou, however, smirks and tells him not to refuse so quickly. He then brings up a personal matter, recalling that Xu Jingming's aunt's family runs a business selling rare plants. Leaning in with a menacing grin, he reveals his family is his aunt's biggest customer, and she also owes them a large loan. He then delivers a thinly veiled threat, suggesting that if the payment isn't made on time, his aunt's family might find themselves in trouble. The threat instantly changes the atmosphere. Xu Jingming's expression turns cold as a fierce, dark blue aura erupts from his body. He quietly asks if Lei Zhou is threatening him. The sheer pressure of his aura physically forces a startled Lei Zhou to step back. Sweating and shaken, Lei Zhou struggles to comprehend the fierce, beast-like presence. He quickly backpedals, stammering that it wasn't a threat, just a heads up. Having made his point, Xu Jingming's aura subsides. He calmly asks for the time and place for their duel. Regaining his composure, Lei Zhou declares the fight will be in 7 days, at noon, on Broadcast Platform 3. Xu Jingming accepts, warning his new rival not to regret his decision. The confrontation creates a buzz of excitement among the watching students, who eagerly anticipate the upcoming battle. Shortly after, the assembly officially begins. An older, gray-bearded university official takes the stage. He welcomes them to the freshman assembly, clarifying it is a session to answer questions about the university's systems. However, he announces the first thing he wants to introduce is the school's combat power ranking. He explains students will use a virtual dive pod for holographic combat simulations, and their ranking will be determined by the number of levels they can pass. He encourages everyone to try their best, emphasizing the rewards are very generous. After the hour-long meeting, aboard Xu Jingming lets out a large yawn. He thinks the only interesting part was the virtual dive pod, which he should try sometime. For now, his priority for the next few days is to continue his daily training with his senior, Liu Ming, and his mentor. For 7 days, Xu Jingming dedicates himself to intense training under his senior Liu Ming and his master, Dean Yang Gentian. After the week of training, Liu Ming approaches Xu Jingming with astonishment. He notes his junior brother has already advanced to the mid-level of the first tier and asks how it happened so quickly. Xu Jingming simply smiles and says it was just luck. However, his inner thoughts reveal the truth. He had deliberately waited a few days before using his system to level up, which made the advancement cost only 380 superpower points. He muses that if he had leveled up any faster, he probably would have scared his senior silly. Changing the subject, Liu Ming remembers the duel and asks if Xu Jingming has a match scheduled for noon. Xu Jingming confirms he does. With a confident smile, Liu Ming pats his junior on the shoulder and says he will observe 3 minutes of silence for his opponent. He decides to accompany Xu Jingming to the match. The scene shifts to broadcast platform 3, a large arena where a crowd has gathered. Lei Zhou enters the ring with his friends. One notes it's a good chance to see the top scorer's strength. Another dismisses Xu Jingming's high score as a fluke and bets Lei Zhou will win. When someone mentions Xu Jingming broke the punch power record, Lei Zhou scoffs, arguing a physical record is meaningless when superpowers are what truly matter. Just then, Xu Jingming makes his entrance with Liu Ming. Dressed in a new black coat and carrying his new spear, his arrival causes a stir. As Xu Jingming walks towards the ring, Liu Ming thinks with amusement that with his junior's handsome looks, he will undoubtedly charm countless female students once he achieves success. From the ring, Lei Zhou observes his opponent's aura and notes Xu Jingming's rank has increased. However, he remains confident, thinking he has other preparations. Seeking to raise the stakes, Lei Zhou proposes they add a wager, all of their credits. Xu Jingming accepts without hesitation, stating he has 370 credits. Impressed, Lei Zhou says he will cover any shortfall in his own credits with cash. He proposes they both transfer their credits to the account of Old Master Zhou, a neutral third party. The teacher presiding over the match is a woman with blonde hair tied in a ponytail, called Zhou Yun, a powerful Tier 6, mid-level healing-type superpowered being. As he completes the credit transfer, Xu Jingming notes the presence of the high-tier healer, Teacher Zhou Yun. He understands battles between superpowered beings are dangerous and realizes the school has taken precautions to prevent deaths. He agrees to the terms. The crowd buzzes with excitement as the massive wager, worth 3.7 million in currency, is confirmed. Teacher Zhou Yun steps forward to officiate. She confirms she has received the credits and instructs them to prepare. She lays out the rules. If one person admits defeat or loses consciousness, the other is forbidden from continuing the attack. Both Xu Jingming and Lei Zhou calmly acknowledge they understand. The two opponents face each other. Xu Jingming stands ready with his spear, while Lei Zhou draws his sword. With grim determination, Lei Zhou unleashes his A-rank fire ability, Dense Pine Industry Fire. A vortex of intense orange flames erupts around him as he declares he will take back all the honor Xu Jingming made him lose. The power of his ability impresses the crowd, who marvel at the terrifying force of an A-rank fire superpower. Wreathed in flames, Lei Zhou charges forward. He leaps and brings his sword down in a powerful, raging flame slash. In response, Xu Jingming simply stands his ground and swings his spear in a basic upward arc. To everyone's astonishment, his simple block completely neutralizes the flaming sword strike. The audience is stunned. They can't believe Xu Jingming didn't use a combat technique and still blocked such a powerful move. They exclaim in shock that a normal attack just broke a big special move. Lei Zhou himself is left speechless, gritting his teeth in disbelief. With his opponent's attack nullified, Xu Jingming looks at him with cold indifference. Purple lightning begins to crackle around him as he tells Lei Zhou that nothing is impossible. The only reason it seems so is because Lei Zhou is simply too weak. Before his rival can react, Xu Jingming launches a devastating counterattack. Surrounded by a torrent of purple lightning, he lunges forward and strikes Lei Zhou squarely in the chest, sending him flying backward. The purple lightning from Xu Jingming's attack courses through Lei Zhou's body, making him cry out in agony. The force of the blow sends his sword flying amidst a spray of blood as he is thrown backward. He lands hard on the floor of the ring, slumping over in defeat as smoke rises from his body. The crowd is stunned by the swift and decisive outcome. Leizhou's supporters are in disbelief, with one exclaiming that the fight is over after only 2 moves from Xu Jingming. Another angrily questions the claim that Leizhou was stronger now that he's been instantly defeated. The onlookers agree that Xu Jingming's strength is on a completely different level from the other freshmen. Watching from the sidelines, Liu Ming looks completely unimpressed. He thinks to himself that the match was too boring and didn't even make his junior brother use a tenth of his real power. Back in the ring, teacher Zhou Yun begins to announce the winner. However, a wounded Leizhou struggles to his feet, calling out to her. He grits his teeth, insisting he is not lost, and the match is not over. In a desperate move, he pulls out a small, red pill. Teacher Zhou Yun immediately recognizes it, shouting in alarm and identifying it as a rampaging blood pill. She warns him against taking it, telling him this is just a match and not worth risking his life. The audience also recognizes the dangerous item. They murmur that while the pill can boost a user's strength several times over for a short period, it has severe side effects that could leave him bedridden for months. They question if the risk is worth it. With a major university competition only a month away, Leizhou ignores their concerns, stating that he will bear any consequences himself. He is determined to take the gamble and will accept his loss only if he is defeated after this. In the crowd, some students, including Liu Wentao, protest, asking if using a performance-enhancing drug is allowed. Teacher Zhou Yun addresses the complaints, clarifying that since this is an unofficial battle, there are no strict rules. She explains that weapons, combat suits, and drugs are all considered permissible resources. As she speaks, Leizhou swallows the pill. She finishes by stating that if Xu Jingming had a similar pill, he would also be allowed to use it. As the pill takes effect, Leizhou's body erupts in an even more intense fire aura. His eyes begin to glow with a menacing orange light as he roars with newfound power. Teacher Zhou Yun watches with a worried expression, noting the pill is high-grade and has boosted Leizhou's power to the lower level of the 2nd tier. She concludes that Xu Jingming is now in serious trouble. Faced with his opponent's desperate power-up, Xu Jingming's own battle intent surges, becoming even more potent as a torrent of purple lightning erupts around him. From the sidelines, teacher Zhou Yun observes this with approval, thinking that Xu Jingming's fighting spirit is becoming even more vigorous and that he has the mindset of a great general. Gripping his spear, a confident smile plays on Xu Jingming's lips. He thinks to himself that finally the fight is no longer like an adult beating up a child. He takes a single step forward, and the lightning around his combat boots shatters the floor of the ring. He then charges at his opponent with blinding speed. Leizhou is shocked by his incredible velocity. The 2 fighters clash in the center of the ring, their superpowered attacks meeting with explosive force. Leizhou blocks Xu Jingming's initial thrust, but the raw power behind the attack is overwhelming. The force of the blow sends Leizhou staggering backward, forcing him to his knees to absorb the impact. Still surrounded by his wavering flames, he grits his teeth in disbelief. He can't understand how, even with his strength boosted to the 2nd tier, he is still no match for Xu Jingming. He wonders what kind of monster he is facing. Realizing a head-on fight is useless, Leizhou changes his strategy. He decides that if he can't win a direct clash, he will attack from a distance. He leaps back and launches a volley of powerful fireballs at Xu Jingming. However, his ranged attack is met with casual disdain. Xu Jingming effortlessly swings his spear in a wide arc, creating a vortex of lightning that deflects all the fireballs. He mockingly asks if that is all Leizhou has. Frustrated and sweating, Leizhou curses his opponent's flawless lightning ability. He desperately clings to a new hope, thinking that he can no longer get close, but if he can exhaust Xu Jingming's power before his drug boost wears off, he might still have a chance. But Xu Jingming has no intention of letting the fight drag on. He decides to end it. He raises his hand and summons a massive amount of purple energy, condensing it into a solid spear of pure, crackling lightning. His A-rank technique, Thunder Spear. He hurls the condensed energy weapon at his opponent. The spear flies through the air and slams directly into Leizhou's shoulder, piercing his defenses. Stumbling back in shock and pain, clutching his wound, Leizhou has a horrifying realization. His opponent also has a devastating long-range attack. Before Leizhou can recover, Xu Jingming follows up with another technique. A powerful sphere of lightning materializes above Leizhou, and torrents of purple energy rain down, electrocuting him. Stunned and in pain, he looks up, wondering what new battle technique this is. With a cold expression, Xu Jingming points forward and declares the name of his A-rank control skill, Thunder Prison. A cage of crackling purple lightning forms around Lei Zhou, trapping him completely. He curses, realizing he is caught in a restriction-type technique. In a desperate move, he summons his remaining power to create a flame barrier, a swirling vortex of fire around his body. Trapped but defiant, he taunts Xu Jingming, declaring that if he can't get out, then Xu Jingming can't get in, challenging him to a battle of attrition. Xu Jingming, however, is unfazed. He looks at the fiery defense with disdain, thinking the flame barrier looks weak and wondering how many of his attacks it could withstand. Instead of a battle of wills, he leaps high into the air, easily clearing the flame barrier and positioning himself directly above his trapped opponent. While airborne, he unleashes his ultimate assault. He summons his power, and dozens of massive, glowing purple spears of pure lightning materialize in the air, all aimed at the helpless Lei Zhou. The deadly rain of lightning spears begins to descend, a technique that looks like a devastating version of his chain thunder gun. Looking up at the overwhelming attack, Lei Zhou is filled with absolute terror. He knows with certainty that if he is hit by that barrage, he will die. With his life on the line, his pride shatters, and he screams out his surrender. At the very last second, just as Lei Zhou shouts his concession, the tip of the lead lightning spear stops just inches from his eye. The rain of spears dissipates as Xu Jingming lands gracefully in the ring. In a final definitive motion, he thrusts his physical spear forward, piercing Lei Zhou's chest and leaving no doubt as to who the victor is. Xu Jingming withdraws his spear from Lei Zhou's chest, leaving him kneeling and defeated on the floor. With a commanding presence, Xu Jingming stands over his opponent as teacher Zhou Yun officially declares him the winner. The crowd is left in shock and awe. They exclaim that it was a complete and utter crushing defeat. They marvel at how Xu Jingming flawlessly chained together 4 different battle techniques in just a few seconds, a feat far beyond what any normal freshman should be capable of. 2 students discuss the power of the techniques they witnessed. One guesses they must all be at least B grade. His friend is amazed, admitting the best technique he has learned is only C grade. Watching from the sidelines, Liu Ming overhears their speculation and looks stressed. He thinks to himself that they are severely underestimating his junior brother. He knows the truth. Xu Jingming had dared to choose 4 A-grade techniques and had already mastered them to a combat-ready level. He reflects on his own experience, recalling that he had only dared to choose a single A-grade technique as a freshman, and it still took him over 4 months to learn. He admits that having such a monstrously talented junior brother puts a great deal of pressure on him. Back in the ring, a humbled Lei Zhou gets to his feet. He sincerely thanks Xu Jingming for sparing his life and accepts his complete defeat. He promises the wagered credits and cash are now his and assures him he will make the payment owed to his aunt's business on time. Teacher Zhou Yun approaches Xu Jingming and confirms the transfer of his winnings. 50 credits and 3.2 million in currency have been deposited into his student account. Xu Jingming thinks that a gambling fight is a quick way to make money. With the duel over, Liu Wentao rushes down to the ring, ecstatic. He congratulates brother Ming, telling him he is now a rich man, and invites him to go out and relax in the city center that evening to celebrate. Xu Jingming begins to decline, explaining he has training scheduled with his senior. However, Liu Ming, standing nearby, encourages him to go, advising him that a proper balance of training and relaxation is the key to long-term success. Taking his senior's advice, Xu Jingming agrees to go out. As they prepare to leave, Liu Wentao excitedly points towards Liu Ming, gushing about his reputation as the vice president of the Ash Club, a user of an A-rank lightning superpower. As he and Xu Jingming walk off together, Liu Wentao comments that the famous senior is even more impressive in person. As they leave the arena, Liu Wentao tells Xu Jingming to just follow his lead, as he has arranged the entire program for the evening. A slightly suspicious Xu Jingming looks back and asks what kind of program he is talking about. Liu Wentao turns with a wide, mischievous grin and points at his friend. He reveals his grand plan, the one unmissable event of university life, a social mixer between the male and female dormitories. A table is lavishly spread with food for a social gathering. Liu Wentao approaches Xu Jingming, who is seated at the table. He excitedly tells Xu Jingming how popular he has become, explaining that he posted an invitation for a social mixer on the campus forum. Liu Wentao reveals that over 100 people registered, and he had a hard time choosing who to invite. Xu Jingming smiles and comments on his friend's dedication, asking who he finally chose. Liu Wentao playfully tells him it's a secret for now, but he will meet them soon. Just then, he spots the guests arriving and calls them over. 2 young women approach. One, wearing glasses, introduces herself as Qi Dongxia, the invited guest. Her companion, a girl with dark hair, introduces herself as her roommate, Song Chu-kyu. Liu Wentao proudly introduces them to Xu Jingming, highlighting their abilities. He explains that Qi Dongxia has an A-rank beast-type ability, while Song Chu-kyu is a high-level first-tier user with an A-rank light element ability, and was also the top scorer in her province. Xu Jingming politely introduces himself. Upon hearing his name, Song Chu-kyu's expression shifts to one of surprise. She immediately asks Xu Jingming if he would be interested in a sparring match, telling him he can pick the time and place. Her friend, Qi Dongxia, calls her a battle maniac for trying to set up a fight right after meeting, reminding her they were there to socialize. Song Chu-kyu admits that her main reason for coming was the chance to spar with Xu Jingming. Xu Jingming steps in to smooth things over, inviting them to sit down. Liu Wentao clarifies that the plan is just to have fun, eat, and go shopping together. The group spends the evening at the bustling Huaihai commercial street. Song Chu-kyu looks up at the towering skyscrapers, in awe of how magnificent the city is. As they walk, Qi Dongxia admires the clothes in a window, while Xu Jingming notices the wide array of high-end equipment for superpowered individuals, including A-rank weapons. He observes a display of blades and elixirs, thinking this commercial center offers a far greater selection of gear than his hometown of Jiangcheng. Their outing continues as they enjoy some street food together. Later, they browse a clothing boutique. As the girls shop, Xu Jingming offers to hold Song Chu-kyu's shopping bag, and their hands briefly touch as he takes it. Afterward, Xu Jingming watches as the two girls walk ahead, looking at a jewelry display. By the end of the evening, Xu Jingming is holding many shopping bags, surprised they spent several million in just a few hours. Liu Wentao remarks that despite Song Chu-kyu's simple style, she is quite a wealthy young woman. When Xu Jingming seems curious, Liu Wentao leans in to explain that her family background is also incredibly powerful. Just then, Qi Dongxia cheerfully calls out to them to help carry one final bag, while Song Chu-kyu thinks it is probably time to head back. The night ends with Xu Jingming and Liu Wentao walking the girls back to their impressive villa. Song Chu-kyu tells the boys that they had a lot of fun. Both Xu Jingming and Liu Wentao wave goodbye as the girls head towards their home. However, before leaving, Song Chu-kyu stops and faces Xu Jingming with a serious expression. She tells him she was serious earlier and promises that one day she will formally challenge him to a sparring match. Her determined declaration surprises Xu Jingming for a moment, but he quickly recovers, a confident smile on his face as he accepts her challenge, saying he is looking forward to it. Song Chu-kyu seems pleased before turning to go inside. Once inside, Qi Dongxia begins to tease her friend. She remarks that she has never seen Song Chu-kyu show a pleasant expression to any boy since they started university, with Xu Jingming as the only exception. She happily concludes it was a great idea to bring her. Song Chu-kyu explains the reason for her usual coldness. She reveals her A-rank light element ability lets her perceive the inner thoughts of others, so she is constantly exposed to the impure thoughts of the boys around her. However, she says Xu Jingming is different. Her ability revealed he only holds a sense of appreciation with no impure intentions. She concludes thoughtfully that he is special. Hearing this, Qi Dongxia gets a mischievous look, teasingly concluding that Miss Song has developed a crush. Meanwhile, as the boys walk back, Liu Wentao sighs with satisfaction, commenting that it's nice to relax once in a while, and Xu Jingming quietly agrees. Xu Jingming, however, is lost in thought. He reflects on Song Chu-kyu and her high-level status, realizing he still has a long way to go. The thought motivates him to work hard and grow even stronger. 15 days later, Xu Jingming is meditating in his training room. Sensing he is ready, he decides it is time to level up and commands his system, Deep Blue, to use his points for an upgrade. A violent surge of purple lightning erupts from his body. System notifications confirm he is undergoing a dual advancement, from a mid-level to a high-level first-tier user, while also leveling up his Thunder Indestructible Body technique to its second level. As the energy subsides, Xu Jingming reflects on his progress. He notes the rank up has significantly increased his power, and that the second level of his body tempering technique is focused on strengthening his bones and muscles. He then consults the training manual, which reveals that upon reaching the third level, he will unlock a special ability called the Thunder Extreme State, which provides a temporary but immense boost to power and speed. He pulls up his system panel to check his new status. While pleased, he is disappointed to see he only has 62 ability points left, not enough to reach the next level. He realizes it is time to ask his master for leave to go to the wilderness, hunt beasts, and get more ability points. Later, when Xu Jingming visits his master's residence, Dean Yang Gentian is shocked by his rapid advancement, asking if he has broken through again. Xu Jingming calmly confirms his progress from the previous night, also mentioning his body tempering technique has reached the second level. The dean is inwardly amazed, thinking his student speaks of difficult breakthroughs as if they were simple. He concludes that with an S-rank ability and such hard training, there is nothing Xu Jingming cannot achieve. His senior disciple, Liu Ming, remarks that his junior brother is a monster, recalling it took him half a year to make the same advancement. Dean Gentian tells Xu Jingming that leveling up is important, but he must not neglect combat training. To test his new strength, the dean suggests a sparring match against his senior, Liu Ming, which Xu Jingming eagerly accepts. In the training room, Liu Ming says he will suppress his own power to that of a low-level second-tier user, instructing Xu Jingming to fight with full strength. After a countdown, the match begins. Both warriors leap forward, and their spears meet in the center with a powerful clash, erupting in a brilliant explosion of purple and green energy. The force of their clash leaves Liu Ming surprised. He thinks to himself that his junior brother's power is incredibly strong, almost on par with his own, even with his power suppressed. Xu Jingming, covered in purple lightning, feels a thrill of excitement. He realizes that for the first time since getting his system, he is facing an opponent of equal strength. Deciding to press his advantage, Xu Jingming concentrates a sphere of lightning in his hand and unleashes his Thunder Prison technique. The massive orb of electricity flies across the room, forcing Liu Ming to defend himself. Before his senior can recover, Xu Jingming leaps and follows up with another attack, throwing a volley of lightning spears in a move like his Chain Thunder Gun technique. Liu Ming recognizes the combination of skills. With a smirk, he notes that this is the same combination that defeated Lei Zhou, but declares that he is no mere freshman. He gathers his own power and unleashes a devastating counterattack, a massive torrent of teal-colored lightning called Jade Pivot True Thunder. 20 minutes later, the intense battle is over. An exhausted Xu Jingming leans on his spear for support. He concedes the match, admitting that his divine thunder energy is depleted and that he has lost. Liu Ming, however, reassures him. He explains that Xu Jingming did not lose because of skill, but was simply at a disadvantage due to lower energy reserves. Their master, Dean Yang Gentian, approaches them, praising the fight as an exciting spectacle. He admits Xu Jingming's performance far exceeded his expectations. He had thought Liu Ming would win easily, but instead they were so evenly matched, the outcome was decided by a battle of attrition. Liu Ming then asks his junior brother if he is aware of the true level his combat power reached during their fight. When Xu Jingming looks back, puzzled, Liu Ming makes a stunning declaration. His power is now unrivaled in the second tier. The weight of this new assessment leaves Xu Jingming looking thoughtful and determined. After the intense sparring session, Dean Yang Gentian announces that the training is over and tells everyone to rest. The butler, Uncle Fu, brings over a tray of spirit fruits, explaining they are perfect for recovering after training. Seizing the moment, Xu Jingming approaches his master with a request. He reveals his intention. He is preparing to leave the university to go on a trip to the wilderness. The dean is taken aback and asks how long he plans to be gone. Xu Jingming explains he intends to stay for over a month, planning to return just before the freshman competition. The long duration of the trip clearly worries his master. With a stern expression, the dean warns him that the wilderness is far more dangerous than the exam grounds. He explains there is no army protection, and beasts roam without predictable patterns, making it easy to encounter a high-level creature. He emphasizes the dangers of staying for over a month are immense. However, seeing his disciple's determination, the dean relents. He decides that if Xu Jingming is set on going, he will not stop him. He places a firm hand on his student's shoulder, giving him one piece of advice. If a situation ever looks bad, he must flee without hesitation. The dean explains that the path to becoming powerful is filled with life and death crises, and since his disciple is so ambitious, he will not stand in his way. Xu Jingming bows his head in gratitude, thanking his master for his understanding. The dean then asks which wilderness area he plans to visit. As Xu Jingming takes a spirit fruit from Liu Ming, he replies that he is heading to the wilderness near Yuanshui City. This news seems to relieve the dean, who notes the area is next to Magic Capital, and the beasts there only go up to Tier 4 or 5, making it a relatively safer choice. He tells Xu Jingming that he will have Liu Ming share some valuable experience with him later, an offer Xu Jingming accepts. As a final gesture of support, the dean explains that since he cannot offer much help while he is away, he will at least provide him with a suitable weapon. A glowing ring on his finger begins to shine with a bright teal light, and he takes Xu Jingming's hand, preparing to give him his gift. Back in his dorm room, Xu Jingming sits on his bed, his new spear and a packed bag beside him. He asks the AI, Eva, to open the university's mission system. As holographic screens appear, he recalls the advice his senior disciple, Liu Ming, gave him. Before leaving for the wilderness, it is a good idea to accept some missions to earn extra credits. He looks through the list, noting the variety of tasks available, such as collecting beast materials, gathering rare herbs, and capturing fugitives. The rewards vary by difficulty, with C and D rank missions offering modest credits, while S and A rank missions offer much more. Xu Jingming observes that all the high-reward missions involve combat, remarking to himself that this must be the training model of Modu University, pushing its students into dangerous situations to grow stronger. He remembers a saying that the most outstanding students are not found on campus but out in the world. With this in mind, he selects 1 A rank and 3 B rank missions for his trip. With his preparations complete, Xu Jingming puts on his new combat attire, slings his backpack over his shoulder, and prepares to leave. As Eva wishes him good luck, he thinks to himself that there is no time to waste and he must set out immediately. His journey takes him to the Yuanshui City Supply Base, a bustling town in a mountainous region that serves as a forward base for those venturing into the wilderness. The streets are filled with adventurers trying to recruit members for their beast hunting teams. Xu Jingming arrives, taking in the lively atmosphere with satisfaction, thinking that he has finally made it. He walks through the streets and enters a grand building that serves as a registration hall for adventurers. The hall is filled with other armed individuals. A woman in an elegant red dress who works as a receptionist greets him warmly and asks how she can assist him. Xu Jingming states his purpose, explaining he wants to register as an adventurer. He holds up his identification, knowing that to enter the wilderness, one must first register for a nationally recognized adventurer identity. The receptionist takes Xu Jingming's university ID and is impressed that he is a student from Modu Superpower University. She remarks that it is rare to see a first-tier user like him venturing into the wilderness so soon. She informs him it will take a little while to process his registration and suggests he rest in the hall while he waits. As Xu Jingming waits, he walks through the hall, observing the other adventurers. Suddenly, a commotion erupts near the entrance. A group of men exclaim in excitement as a newcomer arrives. They recognize her as the goddess Jiang Chuxuan, commenting on her beauty and powerful aura, noting that such a presence is expected from a student of Modu University. The center of attention is a stylish woman with long white hair and sunglasses, who walks through the hall with confidence, followed by 2 large bodyguards and a cameraman. She is Jiang Chuxuan, a second-year student from Modu Superpower University. The onlookers gossip, speculating she must be there to film new material for her online videos. They praise her content and marvel at her popularity, with one man stating she has at least 10 million fans. Another corrects him, claiming she has over 15 million followers and passionately declares he would trade 10 years of his life to be her boyfriend. From a distance, Xu Jingming observes the scene. He recognizes she is a fellow student, and internally notes her beauty is on par with Song Chukyu's. His observation is interrupted when the receptionist calls him over. She hands him his new adventurer card and a satellite smartwatch, explaining the watch has a map of the wilderness detailing beast activity and danger levels. Xu Jingming thanks her. As he turns to leave, a shady-looking man stops him. The man guesses this is Xu Jingming's first trip into the wilderness and warns him it is dangerous to go unprepared, offering to sell him some essential elixirs. Intrigued, Xu Jingming asks about the price. The man eagerly opens his coat to reveal hidden pills, offering first-grade healing elixirs for 20,000 and antidote elixirs for 15,000. He also mentions he has more potent second-grade versions, though they are more expensive. Xu Jingming casually remarks that the prices don't seem that high. The merchant laughs, pleased, and boasts that he is well known for selling cheap and effective elixirs. However, Xu Jingming's expression turns sharp. He internally notes, something is wrong. He knows a standard first-grade elixir should cost at least 30 or 40,000. The man's low prices can only mean one thing. He is a scammer targeting inexperienced newcomers. Instead of being intimidated, Xu Jingming calmly asks how many elixirs the man wants, then immediately calls out his scam, asking how many other newcomers he has cheated. The merchant, realizing he's caught, drops his friendly act. He aggressively gets in Xu Jingming's face, asking if he was toying with him from the start. Xu Jingming remains unfazed, simply asking what he thinks. The merchant's face twists into a menacing grin. He declares that Xu Jingming is the first person to dare provoke him within the supply base. However, before things can escalate, a young woman with short, dark hair intervenes, shouting at the merchant. She calls him by his name, Zhao Chunlin, and accuses him of scamming new adventurers again. The woman walks towards them. Annoyed, Zhao Chunlin mutters that Xu Jingming is lucky this time. Before leaving, he leans in and delivers a sinister threat, warning Xu Jingming not to leave the supply base for the next few days, or he will regret it. As Zhao Chunlin stalks away, the other adventurers gossip. They comment that the newcomer is in trouble for being targeted by Zhao Chunlin and that he provoked the wrong person. One adventurer notes that Zhao Chunlin is rumored to be a mid-level second-tier user, making him too powerful for a high-level first-tier user like Xu Jingming. The woman who intervened approaches Xu Jingming and warns him that Zhao Chunlin is vengeful, advising him to stay inside the base. Xu Jingming thanks her but asks why a known scammer isn't dealt with by the authorities. She explains Zhao Chunlin has powerful connections, which is why no one interferes. She advises Xu Jingming to buy his supplies from official channels and gives him one last warning not to leave. As she walks away, Xu Jingming watches her go, thinking she is a kind-hearted person. Putting the encounter out of his mind, Xu Jingming refocuses. He decides to first purchase all the supplies he will need for the month, making a mental list of healing elixirs, antidote elixirs, and other necessities. Having finished his business, Xu Jingming approaches an official counter to purchase his supplies. After stowing the items in his backpack, he leaves the adventurer's hall, now fully equipped and ready for the wilderness. However, as soon as he steps outside, his path is blocked by Zhao Chunlin and his cronies. The merchant looks furious, mockingly commenting on how Xu Jingming is foolish and defiant for daring to leave after being warned not to. He angrily asks if this is a sign of disrespect. Unfazed, Xu Jingming calmly asks what he wants. Enraged by his calm demeanor, Zhao Chunlin's face twists into a sneer. He declares that since Xu Jingming has disrespected him, he will break both of his legs and make sure he spends the rest of his life in a wheelchair, claiming it is the only way to appease his anger. Nearby, the kind adventurer woman who had warned him earlier sees the confrontation. She expresses frustration that he didn't listen to her and declares she must go help. However, her companion holds her back, suggesting it might be better to let him learn a lesson. Back in the confrontation, Zhao Chunlin prepares to make good on his threat. Dark energy swirls around his arm as he activates his ability. He boasts about his C-rank metallic skin superpower, claiming that when combined with his D-rank combat suit, Xu Jingming won't even be able to scratch him. He then gives his ultimatum. Unless Xu Jingming pays him 1 million and kneels in apology, he will be crippled. Xu Jingming's reaction is instant. A faint crackle of purple lightning comes from his body as he utters a single, contemptuous word. Shameless. The sudden surge of his energy startles Zhao Chunlin, his eyes widening in shock. Before Zhao Chunlin or his cronies can react, Xu Jingming disappears in a flash of purple lightning, reappearing behind the merchant and striking him down with a single devastating blow. The force of Xu Jingming's single, lightning-fast attack sends Zhao Chunlin flying backward, his body battered and bloody. Zhao Chunlin is slammed with such force that he crashes through a nearby stone wall, shattering it. The onlookers, especially the kind adventurer woman and her companions, are left utterly speechless by the sudden and brutal display of power. Xu Jingming stands calmly in the now devastated courtyard, unfazed by the chaos he caused as the crowd parts around him. The onlookers are in shock, murmuring about the instant and terrifying defeat of Zhao Chunlin. One person notes they didn't even see how Xu Jingming attacked, while another remarks they were initially worried for the newcomer, never expecting him to be so strong. The consensus is clear. Zhao Chunlin picked a fight with the wrong person. The kind adventurer woman and her friend are also trying to process what they just saw. The woman admits she couldn't follow his movements either. Her blonde companion grimly assesses the damage, guessing that Zhao Chunlin's legs and pelvis must have been completely shattered. She concludes that even if he survives, he will be a cripple. The kind woman remarks that Xu Jingming is not only incredibly strong, but also ruthless, truly a student from the prestigious Modu Superpower University. When her companion asks how she knows, she explains she recognized his combat suit as exclusive gear from the university. Impressed by his power, the kind woman, whose friend calls her Xiao Qian, suggests they should try to recruit him into their team, noting they are short one attacker. Her teammate immediately protests, reminding her that when they formed their all-female team, they agreed to only accept female members. The other teammates playfully tease Xiaoqian, suggesting she's only interested because he's handsome. though they admit they wouldn't be opposed to him joining. The teasing leaves Xiaoqian flustered. Ignoring the commotion, Xu Jingming proceeds to the wilderness entry gate. He scans his adventurer card, and a notification confirms his identity and grants him permission to enter. He steps through the massive gate and into the vast expanse of the Yuanshui wilderness area, a dense, untamed forest. Shortly after entering, he pauses as the distant, powerful roar of a beast echoes through the trees. He recognizes the sound as a territorial declaration from powerful beasts, likely at least Tier 4. However, he remains calm, noting to himself that these creatures are not his targets for the day. He begins to plan his hunt, recalling that the Yuan Shui wilderness is divided into a ruined city and a mountain forest. He decides the beasts in the city are generally weaker, making them the perfect starting point to harvest the ability points he needs. He pulls up a holographic map on his smartwatch and identifies a nearby location called Ping'an County. The data indicates the area is mostly inhabited by Tier 2 beasts, with very few Tier 1 and no higher-tiered creatures. With its large area and an estimated 500 to 600 beasts, he concludes it is the ideal hunting ground. With a determined cry, Xu Jingming declares his arrival in Ping'an County and breaks into a full sprint, his body covered in a faint blue aura as he moves with incredible speed through the forest. He soon enters the desolate, ruined streets of the county, where his presence immediately attracts a ferocious, wolf-like beast that lunges at him from the shadows. Xu Jingming calmly identifies his attacker as a Tier 2 Shadow Cat, seeing it as a timely delivery of ability points. However, as he prepares to fight, he suddenly clutches his chest in pain. He feels the violent, negative emotions from the Thunder Tyrannosaurus blood stirring within him, filling him with an overwhelming urge to kill. He realizes the more he tries to suppress this impulse, the stronger it becomes. A savage, manic grin spreads across his face as he decides he has had enough of holding back. Unleashing a torrent of purple lightning, he embraces the bloodlust, his sudden transformation, and terrifying aura leaving the Shadow Cat frozen in fear. The scene then shifts to 1 month later. A team of 4 adventurers patrols the empty streets of the same county. One of them asks their bald, red-bearded captain why the area is so deserted, complaining they have been searching for a full day without finding a single beast. The captain angrily retorts that he has no idea. Finding the situation deeply unsettling, he reasons there should be hundreds of beasts in a city of this size, and even a mass migration wouldn't leave the area so completely barren. Just then, their luck seems to change as a large, tiger-like arm-blade tiger appears before them, startling the group. Relieved to have finally found a target, the captain rallies his men, declaring they should kill it together. However, before they can move, a massive spear of pure purple lightning descends from the sky. The energy spear slams directly into the beast, instantly obliterating it in a massive explosion of purple energy and debris. The adventurers are left stunned by the sudden, overwhelming attack. One of them nervously wonders if they just saw a new type of laser weapon. The more experienced captain dismisses the idea, explaining a laser would be much faster. He correctly deduces that the devastating attack was an incredibly powerful lightning element combat technique. The captain of the adventurer team quickly understands the situation. He concludes that the devastating attack was a clear warning and that a powerful individual has claimed the entire county as their territory. He urges his team to leave immediately. His men scramble to follow, with one commenting on how terrifying the lightning spear was, while another finally understands why they couldn't find any beasts. They had all been wiped out by this powerful lightning user. The captain yells at them to hurry, fearing the consequences if they linger and anger the mysterious powerhouse. The scene shifts to reveal the powerhouse, Xu Jingming, perched calmly on a high-rise structure. A system notification pops up, confirming his kill of a Tier 2 arm-blade tiger and awarding him 19 ability points. He reflects on his progress, pleased that after reaching a high level of proficiency, his Thunder Spear technique now has a range of over 1,000 meters. He then pulls up his status panel to review his accomplishments over the past month. By accumulating over 8,000 ability points, he has advanced from a high-level first tier to a high-level second tier user, and his Thunder Indestructible body has broken through to the 3rd level. He also proudly notes that he has managed to raise several of his A-rank combat techniques to the intermediate level, a feat he believes no one else could achieve in such a short time. Having cleared out the entire county, Xu Jingming decides it is time to pack up. He plans to return to the supply base for the night before venturing deeper into the wilderness the next day. Back at the Yuanshui supply base, a group of adventurers watch in disbelief as Xu Jingming returns, weighed down by an impossibly large and overflowing backpack. They joke about the situation, wondering if his bag has grown legs and speculating that he must have foolishly hauled back the entire carcass of a beast. Unseen by them, Xu Jingming thinks to himself that it was a good thing he bought the reinforced version of the backpack. Otherwise, it never would have held the more than 400 kilograms of beast materials he had collected. He proceeds to the adventurer's hall and approaches the receptionist's counter to sell his haul. The woman politely asks what materials he wishes to sell and directs him to a large scale. Xu Jingming opens his massive pack, revealing a mountain of valuable, high-quality beast parts. He informs the stunned receptionist that he has over 400 kilograms of Tier 2 beast materials and asks her to see how much they are worth. Still in awe, the receptionist examines the parts, noting they are all the most valuable and pristine components, such as tiger tendons, claws, and rhino horns. Completely overwhelmed, she apologetically asks Xu Jingming to wait, explaining the quantity of materials is too large for her to handle alone and that she needs to call for help. Shortly after, a well-dressed man, with 2 female attendants in red dresses, approaches. He introduces himself as Zhao Yi, the manager in charge of acquisitions. After Xu Jingming introduces himself, Manager Zhao Yi shakes his hand, expressing his admiration that someone so young could hunt so many beasts. He offers to have his staff take care of the inventory and invites Xu Jingming to sit with him while they wait. While Xu Jingming sits with manager Zhao Yi, the adventurer's hall staff, aided by floating scanner drones, meticulously appraise the massive pile of beast materials. The manager is clearly impressed by his young client's skill and decides to foster a good relationship. He presents Xu Jingming with a platinum membership card for the supply base, which grants a discount on all purchases, and asks him to accept the small token. Xu Jingming politely accepts, thanking the manager. Soon after, a female employee delivers the final inventory report. She states they have counted a total of 89 high-tier, 107 mid-tier, and 221 low-tier Tier 2 beast materials. The staggering numbers leave the manager inwardly stunned, wondering if Xu Jingming had single-handedly wiped out an entire beast lair. Turning back to his client, the manager presents the final valuation, totaling just over 24.76 million. He offers to round the payment up to 25 million, an offer Xu Jingming graciously accepts. A moment later, Xu Jingming receives a notification on his phone confirming the deposit, bringing his new bank balance to over 29 million. He smiles, realizing he has become incredibly rich overnight. As he prepares to leave, manager Zhao Yi gives him his business card, inviting him for tea sometime. Xu Jingming politely agrees and leaves. The manager watches him go, thinking the young man has a future with limitless potential. Just as Xu Jingming departs, the manager's phone begins to ring. He answers, and the caller is revealed to be Zhao Chunlin. From a hospital bed, heavily bandaged and in a wheelchair, the enraged merchant yells into the phone that he saw the person who attacked him return to the base and furiously demands that the manager help him get revenge. The manager, now revealed to be Zhao Chunlin's powerful contact, calmly asks if he is referring to the high-level first-tier user and inquires how he wants to proceed. Zhao Chunlin furiously demands that he dispatch the Tiger Shark Squad to make Xu Jingming's life a living hell. The manager agrees to lend him the elite squad, but makes one condition clear. After this, their association is over. Zhao Chunlin accepts the terms, vowing to leave the city as soon as his revenge is complete. After ending the call, manager Zhao Yi feels a sudden sense of unease. He tries to dismiss it as paranoia, reassuring himself that the Tiger Shark Squad is an elite team of Tier 2 users and should have no trouble dealing with a single first-tier opponent. Meanwhile, as Xu Jingming walks through the streets of the supply base, he suddenly lets out a loud sneeze. He rubs his nose, wondering what that was about and if someone was just talking bad about him somewhere. Manager Zhao Yi is on the phone with his superior, enthusiastically reporting about a new ability user named Xu Jingming, whose haul of beast materials alone was more than a dozen other teams combined. The superior, base chief manager Wang Chuang, hears the name and says he will check the records. As he pulls up Xu Jingming's file, his eyes widen in surprise. Manager Wang Chuang immediately calls back, his tone urgent. He tells manager Zhao Yi that Xu Jingming is extremely important and to notify him the moment he returns. Zhao Yi agrees, wondering how a young man could cause such a strong reaction from his boss. He concludes Xu Jingming must have a powerful background and is relieved he treated him with respect. Meanwhile, manager Wang Chuang looks at Xu Jingming's profile. He recognizes him as another disciple of the famed Yang Zhentian and notes his talent seems to surpass even Liu Ming, another of the dean's students. He concludes Xu Jingming is a prodigy who must not be offended. Elsewhere, Xu Jingming walks through the commercial streets of the supply base. He sees a shop selling spatial storage rings and is dismayed that even basic models, no larger than a suitcase, cost over 10 million. Despite the high price, he finds the convenience of a space ring appealing and wonders how much a larger one for his spear would cost. His thoughts are interrupted by his phone ringing. He answers and hears the cheerful voice of his roommate, Liu Wentao, who asks when he'll return to the university. Xu Jingming says he will be back in about half a month and asks if something is wrong. He doesn't know he is being watched. From a hidden alley, a vengeful Zhao Chunlin sits in a wheelchair, surrounded by mercenaries, the Tiger Shark Squad. The squad leader, a man with a blonde buzz cut and an arm in a sling, points out their target. He orders them to break Xu Jingming's hands and feet, then bring him to Zhao Chunlin. A female squad member coolly acknowledges the command. As Xu Jingming continues his phone call, Liu Wentao starts telling him about an arrogant new freshman at the university. Suddenly, Xu Jingming pauses, sensing hostile gazes. Liu Wentao asks what's wrong, but Xu Jingming, aware of the ambush, looks over his shoulder and calmly tells his roommate it's nothing, and to continue. As Xu Jingming walks into the deserted alley, the Tiger Shark Squad is waiting. The squad leader signals that the target is in position and orders a member named He Ji to analyze his strength. Another member remarks their captain is being too cautious about a single upper first-rank user. As Heiji uses her psychic ability to scan their target, her expression turns to shock, and she exclaims that what she is seeing can't be possible. The captain asks what is wrong, sensing something is amiss. Heiji shares her psychic perception with the team, letting them see what she sees. Their view of the alley shows their auras as small flickers of energy, but Xu Jingming's is a colossal vortex of immense purple power that dwarfs them. The team is horrified, realizing his power is far stronger than an upper second-rank user and he could easily destroy them. The leader's face twists in fury as he realizes their intelligence was wrong and Zhao Chunlin sent them on a suicide mission. He immediately aborts the operation, ordering a retreat and vowing to settle the score. From the alley, Xu Jingming watches the squad members suddenly leap away and vanish, leaving him confused by their sudden withdrawal. He quickly deduces the only person in the base with a grudge against him is Zhao Chunlin and assumes this was a failed revenge attempt. He dismisses it, thinking people like that never change and he will teach him a lesson next time. The enraged Tiger Shark Squad returns to Zhao Chunlin. The squad leader storms up to the merchant and slaps him powerfully across the face. The force sends Zhao Chunlin flying from his wheelchair. Stunned and in pain, he demands to know why he was attacked. The leader looks down with contempt, yelling that Zhao Chunlin's faulty intel was a death trap. He reveals the shocking truth. Their target wasn't an upper first-rank user, but a powerful upper second-rank. The news leaves Zhao Chunlin speechless, unable to understand how Xu Jingming grew so powerful in just over a month. The squad leader, his face cold with disgust, declares he doesn't care. He terminates their mission, leaving Zhao Chunlin broken on the ground as his team departs. The Tiger Shark Squad leader reports back to manager Zhao Yi, who is surprised to see them return so soon. The squad leader confirms the mission was terminated. He explains that Zhao Chunlin's intelligence was wrong. The target was an upper second-rank user. He corrects himself, saying it's worse. Their scanner showed his combat strength is at least third rank, which is why they retreated. Manager Zhao Yi is enraged, wondering how Zhao Chunlin could make such a huge mistake. A sense of dread dawns on him, and he asks for the target's name. The leader says Zhao Chunlin only gave a description, a muscular man, about 1.9 meters tall, who carries a long spear. The description clicks, and manager Zhao Yi's face turns pale with horror as he realizes who the target was. The scene cuts to manager Wang Chuang's office, who slams his hands on his desk, sending books flying. He yells at Zhao Yi, demanding to know who gave him the audacity to ambush Xu Jingming. A terrified Zhao Yi nervously points out he's just an upper second-rank kid and questions if such a strong reaction is needed. Manager Wang Chuang calls him a fool and has a drone project Xu Jingming's records. As he reads, the horrifying reality hits him. The file confirms Xu Jingming is an 18-year-old upper second-rank user, the top scholar of Jiangnan province, and a freshman at Modu Superpower University. The most damning detail is his mentor, the legendary Yang Zhentian. Manager Wang Chuang grimly asks if he now understands, explaining a master like Yang Zhentian could level the base, and the state would do nothing. Overcome with fear, spikes erupting from his back, manager Zhao Yi bows and promises to handle the situation. On manager Wang's orders, 2 guards drag in the battered Zhao Chunlin. The terrified merchant is thrown to the floor, where he begs for his life. Manager Zhao Yi, his face cold, declares a simple beating isn't enough. The ringleader must be executed. He tells Zhao Chunlin he has only himself to blame for picking a fight with someone he couldn't afford to offend. Without another word, he snaps the merchant's neck, executing him on the spot. In Manager Wang Chuang's office, Manager Zhao Yi looks on nervously after executing the merchant. However, the base chief manager is not satisfied. He coldly asks if Zhao Yi believes that is enough to appease someone like Xu Jingming. With a menacing look, he tells Zhao Yi that while he has overlooked his shady dealings over the years, this mistake is too great. He declares everyone involved, including the Tiger Shark Squad, must be severely punished to ensure no rumors spread. A horrified Zhao Yi can only watch. The scene shifts to the Adventurers Hall entrance, where the base's top management has gathered in a formal line. A crowd, including Xiao Qian and her team, observes the gathering. They recognize Manager Wang Chuang at the front and note all department heads are present. They guess such an impressive lineup must be for someone very important. Just then, Xiao Qian's teammate spots a familiar face, pointing out the young man from Modu Superpower University. Xu Jingming, returning from his errands, looks on, confused why the entire management team is at the entrance. The man at the front steps forward. He warmly welcomes student Xu and introduces himself as the base chief manager, Wang Lun. Seeing the base's highest authority personally greeting him leaves Xiao Qian and her friends shocked as they realize there is much more to this young man's identity. Manager Wang Lun offers a formal apology. He informs Xu Jingming that for the offense, Zhao Chunlin has been punished. Furthermore, all accomplices have been rounded up and will spend their lives in prison. To make amends, the manager explains, the base has prepared reparations. Xu Jingming is impressed, thinking that a chief manager certainly handles matters cleanly and decisively. A female attendant brings forward a box, presenting Xu Jingming with the base's highest-level black gold membership card. Manager Wang Lun explains this card grants him free lodging and a minimum 20% discount on all purchases. Another attendant then presents a second gift, a small box containing a 1 cubic meter space ring. The incredible value of this gift leaves Xu Jingming completely stunned as he realizes what he is being offered.
This is the end of the video. If you guys want to see the next part, then don't forget to subscribe and like the video.